Hello everyone. I hope you all are safe and healthy. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 1, Accounting and its Terminology, 11th Commerce, Gujarat Board. We have already uploaded 3 different parts of this particular chapter. There are almost 45-46 terminologies in this particular chapter. In previous part we have already discussed 25 among them. Now we are starting with the new terminologies. Okay, please pay more attention in it, so it will help you in 11th and 12th commerce. Starting with the 26th number, purchase. Now what is called as purchase? You know, many time you have heard this word, what is purchase and everything, but purchase should be taken different in the sense when we are preparing books of accounts. So let's take directly jump to the example. When you purchase a stationery, but you are a merchant of, you are selling some grains in your shop, but you are purchasing what? You are purchasing stationery. So that is called as your stationery expense. It is not going to be considered as a purchases. But if you purchase grains, then it is called as your purchase. Understand? Here, what is important? The type of business which you are going to follow, that is more important when we are preparing books of accounts. If I have a stationery shop and if I am purchasing stationery from the wholesaler, then that will be considered as my purchase. Okay, if I have a petrol pump and if I am purchasing some petrol from the different for example Hindustan Petroleum, then it is called as my purchase. But if I have a international school and I am purchasing some stationery for that. So that is also called as purchase because that is a routine business. This kind of work I have to do. But if I have a merchant shop, like if I have a shop of grain materials, okay, grain merchant I am. And if I am purchasing some stationery, then it is not going to be considered as a purchase because it's a stationery expense of the business. Okay. So we have to take into consideration that which kind of business we are running. So that is about purchase. Now next is sales. Same way for the definition, a businessman does the business of goods. Sale is treated as sales in the accounting. Whenever whatever we are selling, that will be considered as a sales. But again, income should be generated by the grain merchant. Take the example which we have already seen before. Income which is generated by the grain merchant through the sale of grains, not the sale of stationaries, through the sale of grains. That means same nature of business should be there. Then it is called as your sales. Next one, that is stock. Now what is called as stocks? To run a business, we need to purchase something from some stores and finally we have to sold that to the particular customers. So for example, we have purchased goods of rupees 70,000. Now it is not necessary that by end of the day we are going to sell all the goods of 70,000. So few goods was there as a was not sold. So ultimately by end of the year we have sold the goods of rupees 40,000. So deduct this amount, 70,000 minus 40,000. What amount is there? There is 30,000. So 30,000 rupees stock is in your hand. Okay. So this is called as your stocks. Goods purchased by a businessman for a business purpose. Goods remain unsold from that goods will be considered as a stock. That means you are purchasing something, you are selling from that, and unsold thing that will be considered as your stock. Second thing you have to remember in mind, stock is your current assets. Now what is current assets? The assets which can be redeemed within a year, that will be considered as your current assets. Within a year duration was there. So stock is considered as your current assets. Next one, debtors. Now what is debtors? We sell the product to someone and we purchase the product from few of the few of our distributors. So maximum of the sale and maximum of the purchase is done with the help of credit transaction. Now what is called as credit transaction? Where you are not going to put some cash. in the transaction. You are purchasing on your credit, so that will be considered as your credit transactions. So what is called as debtors? Now, when we sell goods on credit to our customers, for example, I have a ready-made shop. Someone come to me, Mr. X is coming at my shop. He purchased two pair of shirts and he told me that I am going to pay this amount after 10 days. So what I have done, I have given him the goods on the basis of his credit. So that is called as my debtor. Now ultimately debtors, that means I have to take some amounts from them. So they will be treated as a current assets. Within 1 year, I am going to get this whatever the amount of rupees is there. Next one, that is bills receivable. Same way, it is a written document. It's a written document for the both the parties. One will be writing the bill, one will be accepting the bill. Now when the writer acquires the right to receive certain amount, that means who will the writer, for example I will be the writer in previous example, so I have some rights, so I am a bills receivable. Ultimately the bills receivable will be with me and it will be drawn in the name of the party Mr. X. Okay, and on that day I am going to get that amount, so it is also considered as my current assets. Okay, now next one, that is receivables. Now what is called as receivables? When any of the businessman or any of the persons from which we have to get some money, we are going to receive some money from them, then all of them will be considered as some receivables. Now receivables are again of different types. One is debtors, second is bills receivable, third is outstanding incomes, that means we are going to generate incomes from that, and fourth one, that is your prepaid expenses, whether you have paid the expenses in advance. Okay, so for next 1 or 2 months you don't have any kind of liability, so that is also considered as your receivables. Next one, what is creditors? Now same way, when we are getting some sales on credit. Okay, so same way we will purchase some goods on credit. So when we are purchasing goods from someone on credit, that will be considered in that particular person's book of accounts, we will become creditors. Okay, for example, I have a shop. I go to the wholesaler. He gives me some goods on a credit of 10 days. Then I will become his creditor. Okay. I have to pay him some amount after few days. Okay. So if I have to pay some amounts after few days, then it becomes my liability. So this is my current liability, because within 1 year I have to complete this liability. So this is considered as a current liability. Next one, that is bills payable. Now what is called as bills payable? Same, there are two parties. One is bill writer and second is acceptor. Now again it's a written document, but the acceptor accepts the responsibility to pay a certain amount after some time. That means here I am accepting that I am going to pay 10,000 rupees to the wholesaler after 10 days. So I will become bills payable in his books of account. Again it's a current liability for the business. Now same way as receivables was there, here payables. So payables are of different types. First one, that is creditors, bills payable, outstanding expenses and income received in advance. All these will be considered as your payables. Next one, that is cost. Now what is called as cost? Anything or everything which we are producing into business, all the expenses which is happened for production of that and till the services, every expenses will be considered as a cost of that. Okay, next one, that is voucher. Now what is called as voucher? Whether we are selling our product in cash, whether we are selling our product on credit, anything which we are selling, there is one written document which is given. Consider it as a simple bill. Okay, if they were providing you the bill, then it is a written document and that will be considered as your voucher. Okay, but it should be transaction in nature, something in return should be happen over there. Okay, that is considered as your voucher. Voucher, that means a written document, whether it is credit, whether it is in cash, whether you have paid some wages, So if you are getting some receipt, that is also considered as your voucher. If you fill petrol of rupees 200 and you are getting one bill from them side, that is also considered as a voucher. Next one, that is discount. Now what is called as discount? For example, you went to a shop, the total bill from the purchase is total 10,000 and they have given you some discount of 10 percentage, and you have to pay rupees 9,000 only. So the difference of that 1000 rupees will be considered as your discount. That means the final total, that means the total amount, from that we are deducting some amount that will be considered as our discounts. Now discounts again are of two different types, one that is trade discount and second is cash discount. Now what is trade discount? So at the time of sales, a business person deducts certain percentage. That means when we are doing our business, we went to the shop and on the spot, on that particular place, he will deduct some percentage of discounts from the shop. That he gives you the discount of 2% or 5%. This is a selling strategy. Okay. Finally, we have decided to purchase a goods of rupees 10,000 and he gives us 2% discount. That means we have to pay 200 lesser amount. Okay, so we have to pay only 9,800 rupees for that particular goods. Now next one, that is cash discount. Now what is called as cash discounts? When we have taken goods on our credit, that means they have done some credit sales. Ultimately, it is just like an offer. When they will offer us to give this kind of services, what we are going to do? We are going to give him cash return in very quick time. That means, for example, if someone has sold me the product on a credit basis for rupees 10,000 and he told me that you have a duration of 2 months and in 2 months you have to pay me the amount of rupees 2,000, 10,000, sorry. But he has given me one offer. If you pay the amount in 15 days, I will give you 10 percentage rupee 10 percentage of discount. That means I only have to pay 9,000 rupees if I pay it in a stipulated time which is given by that particular offer. So if I pay within 15 days, I have to pay only 9,000 rupees. So that is called 1,000 is considered as a cash discount. Why? This is just for the attraction of the customers. Okay, and trade discount is for the attraction towards the selling procedure. Okay, understand this too. Next one, that is discount received. Now, when we purchase some goods and when we pay lesser amount, that is called as your discount received. We went to the shop, we purchased goods of rupees 1000, we have paid 900 rupees, ultimately 100 rupees is our discount. And that discount, as we have got, that is called as discount received. Okay. Next one, that is discount allowed. So ultimately, when we are selling our product and someone purchases from us, same example, we have to take money of rupees 1000, but he is paying only 950. So 50 rupees is a discount allowed. You have allowed him to take the goods or services in 950 rupees. So 50 rupees is your discount allowed. Okay. Next one, that is bad debts. Understand this word. This is the most important one and most difficult to find in the accountancy. And every time this is a headache in the minds of the accountants. How many type of bad debt is going to be occurred and whether the person will become insolvent or not. Every time the business owner has to think like that. So this is important, understand this. What is considered as a bad debt? For example, you have given goods to Mr. Ravi of rupees 5,000. Now Ravi is a regular customer of yours. He every 5 day or 10 day he purchase goods from you for rupees 5,000 or 10,000. Now on this day he has purchased goods of rupees 5,000. Now what happened? Due to some financial condition or due to some issues, he is not able to pay the amount. then that amount of rupees 5,000 will be considered as a bad debt. Okay, this will be considered as a bad debt. Ultimately, we have given him the goods and he don't come to pay us the amount, so it will become your bad debt. So ultimately, bad debt is not any kind of expense, but it's a loss for the business. Okay, so if any kind of loss which is happening into your business, you have to keep it in mind, so that is called as your bad debts. Ultimately, for their bad financial condition, if you are not able to collect money from someone, that will be considered as a bad debt.